Yo YouTubers. Wow, so my fridge is making mad noises. Come on you Reds. Come on you Reds. Let's you know, pull your socks up. Get your fingers out your arses. Let's see some action. Alright guys, beer review. I'm watching the... Yeah, I'll do a pan this. Look guys, I'm watching this, right? It's Simon on the Craft Beer channel. Sure he won't mind me putting him in there, like. You know, he's the Stone the Crow's virtual pub, you know what I mean? Because while this lockdown's happening, guys, you know what, until we can get back to normal and, you know, I'm going to be a busker, aren't I? Street performer. C6 Steve with a distortion pedal. C6 Steve with overdrive, that's what I want to be. Anyway, I've got a beer to review, right? Now, I don't know what I'll be carrying on drinking tonight, I don't know. I don't really care, guys, you know what I mean? Anyone thinks I'm like, I've got problems or anything, trust me, guys, I know what I'm doing, you know what I mean? I'm like, whether I live or die, right? I might even have a little story to tell you. I don't know. Right, I've got a story, but one of my worst. I've actually spoken about the story. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but I've spoke about it on a speech, on a live stream or something like, but I haven't spoke about it in a beer review, so some people might want to hear it, right? Okay, so it's one of my worst drinking experiences, right? You've got to realise, guys, I've been through bad drinking experiences. I've been beat up by a gang while I was pissed, you know what I mean? I've been like, I had a heart attack and everything, you know what I mean? That's a long story, you know what I mean? No, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't go to hospital. No, that's the whole thing. You see, that's the whole point. On this, you know, when you're like the Sixth Sense, you can't like just go from one level to another. Like, you know, who cares, man? But anyway, let's get on with the review because it's brand new. I seen it today. I thought we'll do a lager review today, right? Claiming to be a craft lager. We'll find out, won't we? And it was £1.19. But anyway, anyone heard of this? This is the first one for me. I don't know. But you know, if I get welly, don't have any problems, I'll deal with it, don't worry. If I end up in a bridewell, don't worry. Don't cry, don't worry about Bruce, you know what I mean? I'm 56. 56 years old, for crying out loud. Alright, right, I don't know what this is, I don't even know anything about it. It's brand new, you know, it's different, I've never seen it before. It's called Bomonti Fabrika. Unique recipe since 1890. Yeah, right. They all say that, don't they? Yeah, right. They all say that. Right. Okay, what does that say? It says, crafted in a small quarter of Istanbul called Bomonti. Wow. Istanbul. I didn't even read that. I didn't know. Wow, where you get the finest symbols, Istanbul. Right, what else does it say? Let's have a look. Unique recipe since 1890. That's what it says there. Unique recipe since 1890, and it's in a brown bottle. They're not daft, are they? Easy drinking. Istanbul, crafted in a small quarter of Istanbul. Wow, is this actually brewed in Istanbul? This was in Home and Bargain, by the way, guys, you know what I mean? So this is a brand new one, isn't it? Alright, here we go. Our story began in 1890 in a small quarter of Istanbul called Bomonti, to explore a unique lager taste. Much has changed since 1890, but we continue to make beer in our own way, staying true to the original recipe with our special yeast and easy drinking style that everyone can enjoy. Ingredients: water, malted barley, hops, yeast. It's a craft lager. Imported. 4.5%. I mean, it's, what is it? What's the millilitres? what do you call it, like 15 cl, 50 cl, what's that? You know, it's quite a big bottle, you know, like one of those like kind of biggish bottles. And this was £1.19, right, which is quite cheap, right. If it's a really good drink, I'll be amazed. And it's got like sort of, says around the bottle, Bomonti around the glass on the bottle. Quite well packaged, man. And looks quite good, man. So let's see, let's beer. I didn't even know. I was like, didn't know it was from Istanbul. You know what I mean? So let's see what we got, Let's see what we got. Let's get on with it. I'll try and get the story. The worst, one of my worst drinking experiences ever, right, guys. I used to be a punk rocker. You got to understand it, like. Even as a punk rocker, I didn't drink much, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't afford to, you get me? Like, but what we call a binge drinker, me, guys, you know what I mean? Alright, let's pour it in, let's see what we got. This is a new one, isn't it? Istanbul. Wow. So, is that Turkey, by the way? It's Turkish. Oh, smells good. It smells like a real pub ale, like. Look at that. Hold on, my fridge is making weird noises. I just think I know what it is. Done it. Love this football shirt. Nothing to do with Liverpool. Not a Liverpool fan, I'm a Carlsberg fan, you know what I mean? Only joking, any Liverpool fans watching going mad. Alright. Okay. I'll tell you what, that looks good. You can see the bottle's brown. It's a kind of like an ambery colour bottle, actually. You see that? Quite well packaged. Is it brewed in Istanbul? That's interesting, man. There you go. And it looks like a classic lager, actually. It's got an almost golden amber hue to it, like. It's alright. It looks alright. One finger, jobby. Smells like a really nice, refreshing lager, to be honest. Where's the water from, though? Who knows, eh? Alright, let's get straight on with it, shall we? Up hell yeah. Oh, straight away. Meaty. Malty and bready. Really refreshing. I don't know what to say about that. It's like just a nice crisp lager. Bomonti Fabrika. Unique recipe since 1890. Home bargain, guys. £1.19, quite a big bottle. Well, you know what I'm saying, like it's these like sort of say 180 or something, or £2, aren't they, if on other bottles of beer, like. Nah, it's quality, that, man. It's got that malty flavour to it, like. It is nice. It's not like Foster's or something like that. It's nice. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a really good German beer, actually. That's what it reminds me of straight away, like. Not that I've tried that many really good German beers. For £1.19, it's really good. The water's fine, innit? I'm just reading the comments while Simon's talking on the beer channel. Yeah, man, you can see that's alive and I mean, as lager drinking goes, it's nothing groundbreaking. But, you know, for a Turkish beer, it is Istanbul's Turkey, isn't it? It's quite nice, really. You know what I mean? I take it they've... it all seems so English, or... Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really say nothing about, you know, that it could be from somewhere else. They go another new bottle to go in the collection. I should get all my bottles out, shouldn't I, and put them behind me, like, you know, all the bottles I've collected, like, I've got some cracking little bottles there, like. I need some kind of shelf to put my bottles on. It's proper refreshing, proper thirst quenching, you know what I mean? Reminds me of that Chinese beer with the mountain water in, actually. Tsiango, I can't pronounce it, like. Your fridge is going bonkers, man. I'm not going to throw it down, okay, guys? Anyway, let me tell you my story, right? Let's see if we've got long enough. I have spoke a bit about this on other videos. When we were on 11 minutes, yeah. This is a story when I was a punk rocker, right? One of the lads in town, in the Whittle vicinity, you might have heard of them. There's a punk band. They were quite famous. Instant Agony, right? They had connections to Half Man, Half Biscuit, and all that kind of stuff, right? But anyway, the singer of the band, whose name was Oki, like, there's a video on my channel, actually. If you go in the past on my videos, there's a punk gig, Christmas concert, and that guy singing in the punk band, they called Bite Back, they were called. He had a party in his house, right, and all the punks knew him, you know what I mean, right? And he threw this party in his house on the Whittle, like. I won't name exactly where and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, me and my friend, he's departed now. This person who I'm talking about, he's departed. My friend Robbo, he died last year, actually, Robbo, like. But me and Robbo, we were punk rockers kind of thing. We were like, oh man, we got invited anyway. We got told there was a party there, you know what I mean? It's like, you can come, man, you know what I mean? Show up, just bring your drinks and that, like. Bring your own drinks, you know, the golden rule. Right? And I used to carry this tube around with me, you know, like a rubber tube. You know them tubes you get in school for the Bunsen burners? It's like a rubber tube, you know what I mean, like a straw. And if I was desperate, I would drink beer or cider or whatever really fast with this tube to get the full effect of it, right? So anyway, me and Robbo went to this off-licence that was up the road. And we had a few quid between us, you know what I mean? We were going to buy a couple of drinks, right? This was when I was about 16, 17, I'm not sure. I was only young, you know what I mean? And I didn't drink that much back then, you know what I mean? But all the punks on the Whittle were going to be there, you know what I mean? It was like a mad punk rock party, like, right? And anyway, we goes up to the off-licence, right? And we got there too late and it closed, right? So there was nowhere where we could get a drink from, right? So we turned up at this party without even a single drink between us, right? And it was kicking off, it was brilliant. It was in like a cellar and all the punks were all flipping out. You know when the music's great, all punk records, no disco, no pop records. It was a brilliant night, right? Punks were all dancing, singing. But we didn't have any drink, right? So it's like, oh no, what are we going to do? And everyone in the party had their own bevies, you know what I mean? Everyone in the party had their own drinks and that, right? And anyway, this guy sat next to me. This lad sat next to me and Rob. Me and Rob were sitting on this sofa, right? And just before we started drinking, kind of thing, I sat down next to this girl. Oh no, tell a lie. It's before I hadn't drank yet, right? And then I sat down, and then me and Rob were sitting down, and this punk sat down next to us, and he had a 4 can, you know, remember Harp Lager. he had a 4-pack of half lager, and he sat down and he put his 4-pack on the floor, right? Whoever that punk is, he'll probably go mad. Like, I didn't know him, I didn't actually know him, and you know, I knew quite a few of the lads who were there, like, but I didn't know him, right? So we didn't mind robbing off him, you know what I mean, right? So me and Robbo, like, he puts his beers down on the floor by his feet, right, this lad, and he's sitting there for a second, and he's going like that to the music kind of thing, and then he realises he has to go to the toilet, so he got up and ran off to the toilet, right, which was in another room, obviously, right, and me and Robbo looked at each other and went, quick, you know, and it was his idea, you know what I mean, he split the cans into, you know, like, we had 2 each, right, and Robbo was like decking his cans as fast as he can, right, and then he sort of got off, you know what I mean, like, so it didn't look obvious who took them, right. And I had 2 cans of lager in my hand, which he just nicked, basically. And the lad was going to come back from the toilet, you know what I mean? So I sort of hid them. And then he came back back into the room where the party was, the lad, and he looked at the chair and he goes, "Where have I put my beers?" He completely forgot, you get me? Thank goodness he was already drunk, you know what I mean? So he goes, "Where have I put my beers?" I'm talking fast because I've only got like 20 odd minutes, haven't I, right? He goes, "Where have I put my beers? Oh, man." And he thought he might have left him in another room, so he just gets off, right? So I'm thinking, before he comes back, you know, in case he kicks off and says, "Hey, I left them there," you know what I mean? I opened 1 can, right, and I put my rubber tube. Now think about this, guys, this is all I had to drink that night. We were totally sober when we got there, no weed, not stone, nothing, right? I put the rubber tube in a can of hard lager, right, which is like a cheap lager, right? This is not bad, this, actually. It's like a classic lager, very crisp. I recommend it, actually, if you're a lager out. But anyway, I put this rubber tube in a can of lager, right, and I went, like, a whole can of lager, just went, drank it all in one go, right, as fast as I could, right. So I got me shit, crushed the can up, threw it behind the sofa. No, I had to hide the cans, the empty cans, right? And I was like sitting there, and I opened the other can straight away, right? And pew, put the rubber tube in straight away. Just drank the whole can in like, oh man, seconds, you know, like, say, you just don't do it, do you? You know, for your health reasons or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And I went straight to the bottom of the can, crushed the can, hit it behind me, you know what I mean? I was like, oh man. And of course, the first can had already got to my head, and the second can was kicking in. I was like, whoa. I was buried immediately, right? Then I remember getting off the sofa and sitting down and talking to this woman. She was like a biker chick. She was like a very friendly biker girl who was at the party. Like, all I remember about her was her name was Susan, right? But she actually saved my life this night, right, guys? You know what I mean? She was like an angel who saved me life, right? Won't spoil it, like, yeah, like, right. And I sat down next to her, you know, because I was pissed, because the 2 cans of beer went straight to my head, right? You know, because I drank them with a straw as well. Worst thing you can do, isn't it, right? And I sat down and talked to her. I was like, "What's your name, love? You alright?" Like, you know what I mean? And she was like, "Oh, my name's Susan." I was like, "Oh, come here. And she looked more like a heavy metal chick, like, you know what I mean? And she was going, "This isn't really my scene. Like, I'm more into heavy metal, me, like, but, like, I know someone that's come here, like, and it's like a punk party," you know what I mean? And all the lads in it were all just flipping out and dancing on the dance floor. Like, well, lads and lasses, all just punks and punkettes all enjoying themselves, dancing, right? So the atmosphere was fantastic, right, guys? And I was just starting to get drunk, you know what I mean? I was like, woo! I was proper bevied, like, you know, from 2 cans of beer, right? Then I got up and I said, "Alright, love, I'll speak to you again later, alright," you know what I mean? She was very friendly, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to cop off on anything, like, you know what I mean? And then I got up, like, because I was in a relationship at the time, if I remember correctly, right? But anyway, I get up out the chair and I went back on the sofa, right? I sat on the sofa because I wanted to be comfortable. She was sitting on the floor against the wall, you know what I mean? I'm sitting there and I'm just laughing my head off at all the punks all dancing and doing moonies and all that kind of stuff. You know, it was quite chaotic, but funny, you know what I mean? Proper funny, like. And I'm sitting down like that, right? And next thing, this lad sits next to me with a whole bottle like that in his hand of, you remember Concord wine? Concord wine. Whole bottle of Concord wine, right? And he must have only took the top off it and he still hadn't swigged any, you know what I mean? And he was sitting next to me, right? And I could clearly see he was proper drunk, you know what I mean? He drank too much too soon and whatever. His eyes were closed and he was like that. And he was rocking backwards and forwards in the chair. Didn't know him neither. If I'd known any of these people, I wouldn't have done it to them, if you know what I mean. Because they were total strangers, some of the punks, I'd never met them before, you know what I mean. So he's sitting next to me and I'm thinking like he who dares wins sort of thing. I thought, if I can get my tube into that bottle and he doesn't notice it, like, you know, because once I started, I didn't want to stop, you know what I mean? And I was like, and I still didn't have, no one gave me a drink, no one, you know what I mean, no one said, hey, do you need some beers, Bruce, whatever. It was all like, it was every man for himself, basically, you know what I mean, right? By the way, that's nice. It's nice, it's kind of, it's not too gassy. It's a perfectly good lager, right? Perfectly good lager. Just get back to the story. So anyway, right, if you imagine that right next to me there, right, and it was just a whole bottle of wine was just inches away from me, you know what I mean? Concord, it was like plonk. It was like a cheap fizzy wine, like a white wine, a fizzy wine, but it was about, I don't know, it was 8% or 10% or something, you know what I mean? It's quite a high percentage, or 15% or something, right? I'd only had 2 cans of lager, but ridiculously quickly, you know what I mean? So anyway, like a bell end, you know what I mean? I was a complete bell end, basically, like. I thought, if his eyes stay closed, I'm going for it, you know what I mean? I'm going for it, right? So I put my tube actually in his bottle while he's just sitting there like that. He had his eyes closed, I put the tube in. I'm not exaggerating, guys, this is not a lie. I know it sounds far-fetched, right? If it was in a film, it'd be brilliant, you know what I mean? But I put the tube into his bottle, man. And I watched the tube go right down, as far down to the bottom of the bottle until it stopped, and I just went... and I watched the whole bottle of wine, quite a big bottle of wine, just go... I watched it go like that, like literally emptied the bottle, mate, right? Drank the whole bottle in one go, I'm not kidding you. Well, right, and then I took the tube out dead quick and put it in my pocket, you know what I mean? And I sat back like that, right? And he was sitting there like that, he was like, he sort of came around, right? And he looked around and everyone, because it was like loud music, proper full-on party, right? And he goes like that, he goes, and he looks at his bottle and he's like completely like, I don't remember drinking that, you know what I mean? He thought he drank it all, right? So he gets off, man, he goes, he's like, oh, where's my drink? I've done. He didn't look at me, you know, because like, think about it, man, there's no way to know what I've just done, is there? Because, you know, because like, say I took it off and took it out of his hand, he might have gone, you take my drink off me or something, like. But I didn't do nothing, I just like, I managed to put the tube in it while he was... Right. Hammered his entire bottle of wine, right? But he got up and went off searching for another drink, right? So I was sitting there like that, I was like... I was just laughing my head off for what I'd just done. I was thinking, oh my word, I can't believe I just done that to him there, right? You know what I mean? The party had only just started. It actually only just started, really. And I was looking around thinking, wow, this is going to be a great night. I was looking forward to dancing, you know, because I dance at parties. I get up and I flip out, you know what I mean? And I was looking around at all my mates and all the lads in you all going, hey, buzzing off all the best records you could possibly hear, you know what I mean? You know, when one record after another comes on, it's all punk music, all brilliance, like, you know, punk or new wave or something, right? I was sitting there like thinking, oh my word, it just hit me, the wine hit me, blended with the 2 beers, you know what I mean? And I was like, whoa, immediately, man, like a world record. Probably the worst I've ever been drunk in you know, in such a short space of time, right? Let's just check my time. 24 minutes, right? And I was just thinking, I want to get up and dance, I want to jump into the dance floor and just get, whoa, you know what I mean? Like mad punk, like. And I just remember going like, seeing everything going in double. Everyone see like, where there was 2 punks dancing, they've turned into 4, you know what I mean? I was like, Oh my word, I'd never had that affected me. I've drank heavily at times, you know what I mean? But that was it just shocked me at how damaging it was, you know what I mean? 2 cans of lager and 1 bottle of wine, but just done in like, should have been in the Guinness Book of Records, shouldn't I, man? Right, so it just hit me like a hammer, man. Right, and I remember getting up and going to the toilet, right, which was absolutely disgusting. Because the guys, you know, the guy who threw the party, his toilet, man, was just like inundated with punk rockers with Mohicans and everything all going, whoa, you know, doing missing the toilet and everything. Like, I managed to have a wee, somehow managed to have a wee, right, in the toilets. And they were like, the bathtub was unmentionable, you know, the bathtub was full of all kinds of, like, you know, vomit and things. It was quite a disgusting sight, right. I remember seeing one punk with a Mohican who I knew, I won't name names, like, right, he fell into the bathtub and he was like, psh, and everyone was going, ah, and I'm laughing at him and everything, and it was like he was covered in all kinds of sick and everything, you know what I mean? It was disgusting, right? So I had me wee as quick as I could. I was thinking, I've got to get out of here, man, I've got to get out of this toilet, man, you know what I mean? It's hell on earth. I made it back to the sofa, right, I was into the room, I sat down, I was like, oh no, and I was like seeing double and everything, I couldn't dance or nothing, right? And then I just thought, I can't take this. I was like so far gone, I had to cave in. I was like, I need to fall asleep, you know, because that's what happens to me when I've had enough. I've got to just fall asleep, you know what I mean? So I remember looking across the like the dance floor, everyone was still flipping out, pogoing, fucking going mad and everything, yeah. Loud music and that. Sorry, I just swore there, like, but they would all go mad. And I noticed this like garden bed, you know, like a garden bed in this like dark corner in this other part of this. It was a big cellar, you know what I mean? There was a garden bed in the corner, and I was like, got to make it to bed. I got up and stood up, and I was like John Wayne, you know, I was like walking like that, like all I could see was the bed in my peripheral going like that, like, and I managed to get to the bed and fall onto it, right, but I fell on it and I was lying on my back, you know what I mean? I was like lying on my back like that, like, and I remember the party just going raving and just, you know, just a brilliant sound, music and everything, and I was thinking, what have I done? I've just wrecked my chances of even, like, you know, say meeting any chicks or anything. Right. Almost fell asleep. I was like lying on my back, fell asleep, almost fell asleep. Blackout, right, yeah. Next thing, that chick who I spoke to, that Susan girl, right, I remember seeing her on top of me going, wake up, you know, we'd only just met, you know what I mean? She's going, Bruce, you gotta wake up, if you don't, like, and she somehow knew, she actually knew, she went, if you fall asleep like that, you might die, you know what I mean? And I was like, leave me alone, I'm trying to sleep. I was just like, I was completely out of it, completely, right? 1 bottle of wine, 2 cans of lager, man. So what she did was she forced me, she actually turned me on my side, actually managed to push me on my side so I was like that, you know what I mean? Like, I fell asleep like that, right? And then next thing, it just blacked out. I just blacked out completely. All the music went... And then I woke up to the sound of it was daylight. Birds singing outside. I could hear tweet, tweet, tweet. The party completely ended. And I was like, I had like vomit. I was like super glued to the floor with vomit like that. Like, you know, like a waterfall had come out. It was like all stuck down my face and all down my shoulder. And I was like super glued to the floor with vomit, like... You know what I mean? I went like, it broke off, you know, when I moved my head, it went, it sort of broke off. I was like, oh my word, what have I done? Like, I woke up, I don't, like, you know, considering I'd only had a bottle of wine and two cans of lager, the hangover wasn't too bad. But I nearly had the Jimi Hendrix or the John Bonham experience, you know what I mean? But that woman actually saved me life that night, you know what I mean? Which was amazing, like, you know, if she's watching, like, I've got to appreciate that, like. Well, we're on 29 minutes, right? So, yeah, to cut a long story short, that was one of the quickest parties I've ever been, you know, because I missed the entire party, basically, you know what I mean? And I thought, I'll never do that again, you know. That's why I don't do slam drinking or anything like that, you know, it's not good for you, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a little bit of a story. Like, she actually saved my life. I woke up and there was loads of other punks all in the living room, all sleeping under coats and everything, all hangovers, you know what I mean? Like, dead bodies, feet sticking out under leather jackets and that, like, you know, all asleep. I was like, oh man, I missed the whole party, man. But she did actually save my life. Alright, anyway, so that's that story, alright. I don't know if you've heard that before, but don't drink beer through tubes, guys. It's dangerous, man. I give that an 8 out of 10, because I'm not familiar with it, right, but it's a lovely lager, okay. 8 out of 10. Alright, rapid fire. You see, drink sensibly. Don't use a Bunsen burner tube. Alright. Yeah, look, I didn't throw it back, did I? You know what I mean? Drink it sensibly tonight. I'm going to watch the Stone the Crows virtual pub now. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.